Hello everyone and welcome to Mars Gardening Kitchen. I'm so excited to be here today and talk about an event that I attended last weekend. I was able to get some free compost from the Queens Botanical Garden. So I got to sign up for this event online. I'm also going to leave a link to the website in the description box down below if you're curious to know about future events too. You do have to sign up, but the event was free. We met in front of the composting facility. They had different groups, so we were the second group in. We first started with a little tour of the composting area. They showed us what their method is. They talked to us about collecting the food scraps and when they start their piles. Then after that we went to a little bit farther in the back where they showed us the bigger area where they keep a lot of their horticultural waste and mulch and dry things, the things that they use as carbon. And I asked them if I could film a little bit of what they're saying so I could share with you guys from some experts, and they said okay, which I'm very grateful for. So let's check that out now.
This is a passive horticultural waste compost pile. So you can kind of look through and see some of the material that broke down, and you can see what did not break down. Can anybody identify what you noticed did not break down? Twigs, roots, wood, carbon. Carbon takes longer to break down. It has lignum. So lignum is what's traditionally broken down by fungi. Definitely happens in the beginning and end of our composting process, and it takes longer. That's why you need nitrogen. Nitrogen would be like this fresh horticultural material, but it will dry out with the sun, with us not managing it with water. So it will take a little bit of time, but you can still see that there's still some really good material here that's have broken down a lot. And this material incorporating into pad A, because it's pseudo compost, helps us to activate and give a kickstart to our new fresh feedstock to break down. Decomposers have already been here, so they're familiar with this environment, and that helps us to break down our new feedstock faster.
And then after that, they walked us through a smaller area where they instructed us how we can do some composting at home here in New York with little bins that they have it available on their website that you can purchase from. And they can also guide people to try to make some with the materials they have. It was really, really cool. It was really, really fun.
Inside the bin, you can have a warm bin processing your food scraps.
Follow me. Well, this is our College Point compost pad. This is where we're taking everything from that greenhouse area, pad C and D that we saw earlier today, where we're trying to reach those higher levels, and we're putting it here to make two longer, shorter windrows. Visually, it looks a lot different, right? You can see it's longer, it's shorter, it has more of a pyramid shape, and we have these exposed. So the compost here is starting to get lower in temperature to ambient air temperature levels. We're incorporating a lot more air in here because you can probably tell we don't have a pipe here. So we're not using our ASP, our aerated static pile anymore. We are mixing this with a locus. It is a large blue turner, so it has like an auger. Has anyone ever seen like a juicer before with like the auger? It's the same exact thing that we have, except it's instead of grinding your food, your fruits to make juice, the auger is turning this material and putting air into it. So you'll see it's a little bit different. I still see some carbon here, but not as much as that hort pile that we saw earlier, right? So all of this is almost ready, but not quite ready yet. This is like very important. We have our compost here for up to 3 months because we want to make sure that it's cured. One reason why curing compost is extremely important before we put it onto your garden bed is if you are taking hot compost and putting it to your garden bed when you're right about to plant, the nutrients are not ready yet. It's too hot. You do not want hot compost there because the microorganisms, the macroorganisms have not broken down your feedstock yet. Getting it to the curing level, to ambient air level, means that your food waste or your greens, your nitrogen, your browns have been fully broken down, fully decomposed, and ready to be applied onto the root system. If you have hot compost and you put that onto your pile and it's right before planting time, rodents are going to smell it, and that's when you're going to start seeing burrows in your garden bed. That's why this is extremely important. This is also the time where we're testing our compost. So we don't just leave it here, sift it, and give it out to you guys. We're testing every single pile to check out what kind of micro and macronutrients are in there. What is the pH level of our compost? Are there any toxins in our compost? Because every feedstock is different. Every condition is different. Every weather is different. So we want to make sure that we're giving the best quality compost out as possible so we get everything tested beforehand. And we're also checking to see what the biological activity is in our compost. So what kind of bacteria are in our compost pile and how is that going to help benefit our New York City gardens and soils? What kind of larger physical decomposers, what kind of worms, what kind of nematodes, what kind of springtails, what are in here? How can we make sure we have a plethora of diverse micro and macroorganisms to put onto your garden bed? Normally, we find a lot of nematode activity, which is really great. We have because it's aerated, we have good guy nematodes, not anaerobic nematodes, which is wonderful. And our pH level, generally compost will help you if you have too low or too high of pH. It'll help you to balance that out. And we make sure that everything is like top-notch conditions. No cadmium, no lead, no E. coli. So again, we're not processing any meat material, dairy material. It's all basically a vegan pie. So if you want to come walk through, you can take, if you have a glove, or I can actually show you to smell it and see it. This is going to be here for another 2 months, aerating. We're going to be managing our compost. And one thing that you can also see is despite the fact that in the beginning process, you can still find plastic in our compost. There are a couple of reasons why. One, we have upwards of like 3,000 pounds of food scraps that we're taking in, and all our volunteers and our staff are helping to pick out all of the plastic out, but we can't get everything. It's really hard with those stickers. It's really hard with those stickers. Like the hardest we try really, really, really hard to remind all of the folks who are dropping off their food scraps, please take your stickers off. It's hard. We tried an initiative. We have this like postcard, and we hand out to anybody that wants to take it to food scrap drop-off sites that we work with, and so they can fill up a sticker on the postcard. It's like a sticker board. If you've ever seen that, mail it to us, and we send you guys a prize. So it has helped a little bit. But we still have a couple things. You might even see things like this caution tape, right? I see like food packages. We have weekly bi-weekly volunteers come straight here just to pick out all the plastic. Something that is a common misconception with compost. Don't be afraid of having some carbon material in your compost. It is a great way to retain that moisture. It's a great way. So it's almost like mulch. Compost is a type of mulch. It can help you to keep the temperatures for your seedlings or your new plants really nice and cozy. And again, it's going to break down as well. So you might have that finished compost ready, but that carbonaceous material that's still not broken down, it will eventually break down to better help with making more compost. So just one thing is like, people are like, if it's not perfectly fine, a quarter, an eighth of an inch, I'm not taking it. A quarter of an inch, half an inch, it's all good. If you want to sift compost, you can join these folks and just start sifting. Any of these carbon materials are overs, so are leftovers. You can push them into the wheelbarrow and get some more fresh compost to sift.
Even though it was cold, it was a beautiful day, it was sunny, so it felt comfortable to be out there and moving your body and working outdoors, so it was actually overall pretty fun. And I ended up coming home with 5 more bags of compost, which is pretty awesome. I'm super excited to use this local compost in my garden this year. I actually first learned from this event from Avalon. She found my channel here, got in touch with me on Instagram, and we ended up meeting. It was so much fun, it was so nice to get in touch with her and to learn more about her garden and share a bit more about my experience too. Danny was also there, so it was just a lot of fun. And she also told me that she's starting a channel, which I was very, very excited to see more people creating channels here in Queens. So I'm going to leave a link to her channel down below too. I encourage you to go check her out and show her some love as well. And I just got a comment yesterday on one of my videos where Natasha just let us know that we can bag compost all year round at Red Hook community farm. That's really great to know about that too. I'm definitely going to try to check that out. If you know of anything, of any other resources, please leave that in the comment section down below. It's so good that we can create this community and share this information with each other. And don't forget to like this video if you can, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. If you're curious about my story, I have just recently posted a video talking about that, and I'm going to make sure to link that right here so you can watch it if you're interested. I'm going to be trying to post more gardening content and show the progress of my garden. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.